All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division where we have an update about Gervonta Davis, his next fight, where it will be or could be, who it will be against, and also a response to requests from people about who I insist and what I insist Gervonta Davis does next, and that is fight the best. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, I'm gonna give you the news up front because I got to edit this video because it came out a little bit after I did portions of it. Gervonta Davis, according to Ring Magazine, will be returning in the summer and be fighting in the United Kingdom as part of this new Amazon Prime deal. And more than likely, that person would be Frank Martin. Now, that's not what Ring Magazine says. That's what the rankings say. However, many people are saying that Frank Martin is not good enough. But let's talk about that in this video. But before I do, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. And please excuse me for my hoarse voice because I was at a basketball game last night for my son and they won a really big game and I was screaming to the top of my lungs, so my voice is a little hoarse. But let's get into it because, man, I'm telling you, Gervonta Davis's fight should be announced soon. And why do we know that? Because that's how the PBC does business. They announced one, which is on March 30th. People were claiming that the reason that it was announced with Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman and not Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia or Gervonta Davis and whoever that will be, is because they don't know who he's going to fight and he may not fight on the network. That and all kind of other ridiculous stuff keeps swimming around about Gervonta Davis. So clearly there's a significant chance that it's Frank Martin. Why do we know that there's a significant chance of that? Because Frank Martin is ranked very high in the sanctioning body of which Gervonta Davis is the champion, the WBA. So there's he and there is Rayo Valenzuela. And those are the two highest available fighters, highest ranked fighters that are available. Now, there isn't possibilities that he could fight somebody else. And, we'll see if that takes place. But one of the two of them seem most likely for sure. Don't think it's going to be Teofimo or somebody at 140 pounds, right? Definitely not going to be Isaac Cruz because Isaac Cruz is fighting Rolly Romero. Now, people say call and ask Gervonta to fight the best. Absolutely, I do. Gervonta, fight the best. Now, I'm also going to do that for everybody else that's not fighting the best, like Teofimo Lopez, like Devin Haney, like Vasily Lomachenko. Those guys, George Kambosos, those guys are not always fighting the best. How do you determine who the best person is? It's very tough if they're not fighting each other, right? But let's look at the one person who I think has come the closest to fighting the best, excuse me, to fighting the best every time out. The closest person to that is Vasily Lomachenko, who has fought Teofimo Lopez. He has fought Devin Haney. Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney at 135. So that's two of them, right? Teofimo Lopez fought one of them. And that is Vasily Lomachenko. Devin Haney has fought one of them, and that is Vasily Lomachenko. When there were four kings, and everybody was talking about who the four kings were in the lightweight division, there was, aside from Vasily Lomachenko, who was not young at the time, obviously, it was Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, and Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Teofimo, and Ryan Garcia. That was the people that were all supposed to be fighting each other. Can you tell me who in that group of fighters actually fought one of the other ones? The only one to do it is Gervonta Davis. That's it. So if you're going to ask Gervonta Davis to fight the best in his next fight, I don't have a problem with that. I think Frank Martin is one of them. But I can tell you who's not going to be fighting the best in his next fight, and that is Devin Haney. It is also going to be Vasily Lomachenko and George Kambosos, and also Teofimo Lopez. None of those guys are fighting one of the top guys in their division next. Teofimo Lopez is going to be fighting Jermaine Ortiz. I think this may be Jermaine Ortiz's first or second fight at the weight class. Devin Haney is going to be fighting Sandor Martin. That enough said with Sandor Martin. And Vasily Lomachenko is going to be fighting George Kambosos. Gervonta Davis is going to be fighting Frank Martin. And Frank Martin, of all of those people, I would consider to be the best opponent out of all of the people we just named for their next fight. A better opponent than Jermaine Ortiz, a better opponent than Sandor Martin, and a better opponent than George Kambosos. Unless, of course, you want to consider George Kambosos to be one of the best, which everybody knows he is not. So he's fighting Lomachenko. But other than that, no. If you look at what people are doing, people are constantly, specifically Devin Haney and Devin Haney's team, they have consistently and over not fought the best. He fought one guy that could be considered one of the best or the best, and that's Lomachenko. But Lomachenko was coming off of what many people thought was a loss to Jermaine Ortiz, and 3 fights before that had lost to Teofimo Lopez. But I grant that he is definitely one of the best fighters in that division, even though Devin Haney fans had been crying about or insisting for years he didn't even belong in the top 10 pound for pound, that he was there despite having lost multiple times. But what happens with Devin is, because he's always calling people out for fights that, in my opinion, can't even be made at the time, he always wants to fight the best, and it's everybody else's fault that he's not fighting them. But if you strictly look at, is he fighting them or is he not fighting them? He's not fighting them. When he went up to 140, Regis Prograis was not an undefeated fighter. Regis Prograis looked bad and got dropped in the last fight that he had, and he had lost to Josh Taylor. So you had Josh Taylor in the division. You had Teofimo Lopez, who beat Josh Taylor in the division. You have Subriel Matias in the division. He didn't fight those guys. He fought Regis Prograis. But then, miraculously, when Devin Haney fights him, he immediately becomes, according to Devin Haney fans, the best guy in the division. Just like George Kambosos was nothing when was no big deal when Teofimo Lopez was about to fight him. Or after Teofimo Lopez lost to him, he was no big deal. But he becomes a big deal when Devin Haney fights him. So, man, we can all say we want to see the best fight the best. But the fact of the matter is, you have networks, you have promotional companies, and you have financial barriers to fights being made. And if you're going to hold Gervonta Davis responsible for fighting these guys, then you got to hold these guys responsible for fighting Gervonta Davis and say, what do these guys got to do to get the fight? But anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.